friends to a podcast that's been described as
emotional
and
terrifying.
One guy even said it was
So awesome it will shock you to the core.
finally another podcast about
Godzilla!
and all his giant monster friends.
This could be the end of civilization.
Yeah, probably. So join your hosts, Cass and Slick.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You're listening to the podcast. From Odo Island. Hey, welcome to the podcast from Odo Island. Follow us on the Twitter machine at Odo Island Pod. I'm Kess, and with me as always is a man who, it's his party, and he'll cry if he wants to.
I will cry if I want to.
Yeah.
I will.
If you want to cry, you go ahead and you cry, and I will cry with you.
Grown men do cry, Mr. Lebowski.
Strong.
Strongman, sorry. Whatever. Got there.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's our
Crying.
Godzilla Fest. Yeah. Crying tears of joy over Godzilla Fest 2023.
Yeah.
Godzilla Day, however you want to call it.
Godzilla Day. Happy birthday, Godzilla. Whatever. Yeah.
Yep. 69 now.
Nice.
There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Nice little setup for me.
Yep. So this will be all recapping Godzilla Day and the week leading up to it, all the news, events. You know, I think the meat of this will probably us be breaking down the two shorts that we got, but plenty of other news though to discuss. You ready for me to hit you with it all?
Yeah. So I was telling you off mic before this. Like I knew I watched the two shorts and some of like the -1, like the TV spots and all that stuff, but I wasn't really up to snuff on the rest of it.
Sure.
So why don't we give me some of the rest of it first?
So a little bit of a random thing to start with, and I recommend seeking this out if you haven't seen it. Did you see the Boss Coffee did a quick little Godzilla birthday video?
No.
So, you know, I think that's been like a branding sponsorship in Japan for like a while now. But that's like the same coffee company that like made a new 54 Godzilla suit a couple years ago, and they had a commercial, if you remember that.
I do.
So they put out like a video that was like super well done. It's basically just like all these clips of like Godzilla kind of going through similar poses, like over like the last, you know, almost 79. Oh my God. So well done.
I was watching it and I was like, with all these fast cuts, it reminds me of a WWE match.
But like that was just awesomely done.
Totally 100%. Yeah.
You know, whoever, like, that's a lot of work to go like, hey, you know what, we need about 20 shots of Godzilla walking from the side. Now we're gonna get like 20 shots of Godzilla roaring from all these different movies.
It's almost like stop motion, how they took like shots from a bunch of different movies and lined it up so perfectly.
There's like one really quick cut too where it's like a bunch of shots of Godzilla firing his ray, and then it just like slips in there a shot of Jet Jaguar when he's getting blown up by Megalon. Yeah. That was like, that was pretty well done. It looks like Godzilla just nuked him out of the sky. So there was that. So full disclosure, we're recording this on Saturday, so we don't have the full numbers yet, but -1 opened with the strongest opening for a Godzilla movie in modern history on Friday. And it seems like the feedback in Japan for it, the initial reviews, which I've been trying to avoid because I don't want to catch any spoilers, but overall though, it sounds like it is another well-received instant classic.
Yeah, I listened to a few spoiler-free discussions about it. Nothing too intensive. I don't even think I made it through the whole thing, but like it was just basically like gushing over it.
Yeah, I've heard. I've tried to avoid it because even like spoiler-free stuff, I feel like sometimes can like even like inadvertently. Yeah, so I'm going to try to keep this as you know, review free as possible. I have our tickets purchased where we'll be seeing it in IMAX a couple days early. I was glad that we were able to get one of those IMAX events.
That's your brother. Never mind.
Oh, I got it. But playing in our area at the very awkward time of 5 p.m. So that's you know, hey, whatever.
I should be up.
I'll be in the office that day, but I've already adjusted my schedule so that I can I've cleared my calendar and had all stuff in my afternoon that day mysteriously canceled so that I can just leave and hit that movie in time.
Nice.
Other things, well, there was a lot of figures released leading up to and on the day of Godzilla Fest.
So this is where I'm a little hazy.
Okay. So the big thing, I think, earlier in the week, at least in my opinion, was that
I saw the 55 stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll pivot back to that in a second.
Yeah.
So I thought prior to November 3rd, we got a bargain Bandai Movie Monster Series figure.
I saw that.
There was some other things released. There's like a -1 Godzilla Store exclusive, another Kiryu heavy paint variant, the Biollante and like the rose form. But I thought getting Baggin from the Super Godzilla game, that was like an instant purchase for me. Just the fact that like, I don't know, it's just such an awesome figure to get. I thought it looks awesome. No hesitation on my part I passed on like, I don't care about another heavy paint Kiryu. I don't care about the -1 metallic repaint or whatever the Godzilla store is getting. But I saw that and I was like, oh no, that's an instant purchase right there. Godzilla Day itself gave us another slew, starting with Bandai, gave us another slew of new releases. I think the highlights for me were Godzilla 64. The Mothra versus Godzilla suit is getting a release. That one looks really good. I also have pre-ordered that. And then, we're finally getting a proper Anguirus 55.
Yep. I saw that and I was like, that's a good one right there.
Yes. So quick, like, aside about that. Well, so first we get two versions. There's the regular kind of grayscale-ish Anguirus 55, and then there's the variant that kind of has like the fire kind of motif and the gold and brown coloring. So maybe you have seen this in my basement, maybe you haven't, but like several years ago, Bandai released a 55 set that was Godzilla 55, who's mostly like kind of like a snowy, blizzardy motif, and Anguirus that's supposed to be, more a fiery motif.
Mm-hmm.
However, rather than making an Anguirus 55 mold back then, they just took their existing Anguirus 68 mold and just said, hey, it's Anguirus 55. So now they're re-releasing that set now with the proper Anguirus, but what I was glad about is you can actually buy the Anguirus separately.
Yeah. So
I actually snagged both the regular grayscale Anguirus and that fiery one too.
Mm-hmm.
So, what else was there? There was like a Manila, but fuck that. I don't need any more Manilas in my collection. He's in there like, I have like two or three.
I got the Mezco
Manila
and I'm
things.
good.
Yeah, I got the Mezco, I got a bag clip, I got a few other little tiny things.
I get the bag clip too.
And then, it's enough for me. Even with like the Super 7, how like I really like the reaction figures, they released a Manila one. And I said, I'm not going to be a completist anymore. I don't need that. Don't need that at all. So
what if they release a Gabra?
Oh, that's a day one purchase. Oh, then I will have to buy.
Yeah.
Then I'll buy a Manila, and I'll buy one Manila in scale with whatever Gabra figure gets released, just so I can have it punching him in the face. I hope Mezco does one. That'd be sweet. So what other?
I'd like to see Mezco release like instead of sets, like do just like single figures.
That'd be cool. Yeah, like a little kind of fill like a few gaps or whatever. Because like we didn't get everybody in the Destroy All Monsters set.
Right.
So it'd be nice if they kind of released
like a spider and a snake.
Kumunga and Manda and Varan. Those the holes that need to be. Oh yeah, and the Kamakuras too.
Yep.
What else? I didn't write everything down that got announced. So some of this is like off the top of my head. Well, they are re-releasing the Godzilla 55 Bandai Movie Monster Series figure. I think it's the big things. There were a couple other things from Bandai that I kind of missed, but that's right. There is another Hedorah repaint coming. I think this is the 7th or 8th repaint, and this one is Strawberry Chocolate. So, if you want, your 8th Hedorah repaint, here you are. But also, we are getting other forms. We got a flying form Hedorah. There was a crawling form Hedorah announced earlier in the week. So,
big week for Hedorah collectors.
Hedorah must sell. I mean, I love Hedorah. That's one of my top favorite Godzilla movies, but I don't know how many Bandai repaints I need from Hidra. You know,
you get the best one.
I do have the best one, and I also have the really awesome Mezco Godzilla versus Hidra set,
Yep.
and that's pretty sick too. So yeah, Hidra fans, you all stay winning. Perhaps one of the shifting off of Bandai. I don't know if you saw this, but a Kiryu wrench
I did see that.
was announced, and it's just a wrench with Kiryu kind of like painted on it.
Yeah, so it doesn't do much for me. If they did like a Kiryu C-clamp, I could use one of those.
Maybe this will start a whole line of Toho inspired tools.
It's like I just like start making guitars with nothing but Kiryu tools.
Kiryu tools. We could get a, for like a plumbing snake could be like Mecha King Ghidorah. Could get something like that. This would go well with like in the 90s.
Oh no, a plumbing snake? That's definitely Manda.
Yeah, I was trying to stay with the mecha form. That's kind of where my head was going. But yeah, that would work too.
We would have to stick with mecha. We can just do tools for like any sort of thing.
Yeah. Throw it a tool, and I'll try to think of Megalon screwdrivers.
Give me what's a wood planer?
I don't know. What do you got?
I'd probably either say Anguirus or Varan.
Yeah, I actually was kind of thinking the Anguirus route too. And then
It'd be hard to hold if it was Anguirus though.
It would, yeah.
Terrible strain on your hands.
So that was probably the most random. Mondo, who I've never purchased anything from Mondo, they have released some more like really cool limited run statues. Did you see any of those?
No, I'm aware of Mondo though.
Yeah. So, I want to like Mondo, and I would consider getting some of their stuff if they have changed this practice. But I think one of the big criticisms I always heard of Mondo is that they release like these like really, really awesome looking like limited run statues that they work with like different artists and stuff like that to come up with these like really cool concepts. And but like a lot of their stuff is like very usually like limited to like a few hundred pieces, and from what I understand, they do very little to protect from scalpers and bots buying the stuff up. And I've heard often in the past that like people would say like it's basically impossible to get some of this stuff because bots just pretty much scoop it right up,
and that's a good way to lose interest in something.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I heard that, I was, it's just like, I'm not gonna like, I don't have to collect everything. You know what I mean? Like, and if that's like the system you're gonna go with, and you're not gonna put like safeguards in place, like
it reminds me of the pandemic when the GvK Mecha Godzillas were hitting Walmart stores.
Oh yeah,
and then people were just scooping up every single one, and that's kind of like, oh, well, I guess I don't need that figure. And then all these scalpers are sitting on this stockpile of $10 figures that they're trying to sell for $40.
Right. Like, there's something like, you can't really hold it against anybody if someone goes to a store and just buys everything on a shelf. I mean, what can you do about that, really? Like, other than a store could limit how many you could buy, but like Mondo's like, it's like, yeah, you know what? We're just not gonna. Now, this was in the past. I don't know if this is still the case. They're just like, yeah, you know what? No, nothing here to help the consumer. Like they have control over some of that. So, but
I remember when I bought the Dracula NECAs from Target. The guy I bought one for me and one for you, and the guy was just like, "Any more out there?" I was like, "Oh yeah, there's more back there." He's like, "Oh good, because I want one of these." I was just like, "Yeah, I'm not buying the whole stock. I'm just buying one for me and one for my friend. We collect them."
Yeah, and it's a lovely figure.
Oh, it's great. It's the centerpiece of my horror section.
So yeah, so they got a really cool looking Godzilla that kind of has like, I mean, I can't really even describe design. It's almost like I don't know. It's just got this like very cool like for lack of a better term, I guess I would say like almost kind of like an Aztec style design, and like there's a Mechagodzilla one that kind of has like a really cool style like that too. Almost kind of looks like mixed with like a Spy versus Spy spy. And then I think that was really tempting to me was a pretty big King Ghidorah tiki mug, but it's kind of like in the original concept Ghidorah colors where he was like blue and rainbowed wings.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh man, I was like, I could enjoy some lovely homemade drinks out of a King Ghidorah tiki mug. But I think I'm gonna let all those just kind of chill.
Yeah, you don't need everything.
No, don't need to get everything. I'm trying to think what else was there. There was a lot of stuff that was like announced and released. A bunch of clothing companies like Cavity Colors.
I did see the Cavity Colors thing.
They do. That's not stuff I really get into, but like their stuff looks cool. Nothing on the American side. No Haya announcements. No Playmates announcements. Although I guess Haya has been kind of announcing stuff right along. So, but nothing from Playmates. Not that Playmates really gets into that business. I'm going to guess Playmates is kind of lying in wait until Godzilla X Kong gets a little bit closer. So that was it for figures. Anything else you'd like to add on the figure front?
Nope.
Cool. moving right along in the news section. On the Battle Line front, I thought it was a little bit more quiet for Battle Line this year than it was last year. One thing that Battle Line did that I feel like was a direct shot at this podcast was the day before the Godzilla Fest. They, not really a direct shot at this podcast, but they put up an image that was like, oh, which one of these three pieces is going to get announced tomorrow? And it was Super Mechagodzilla, who we already know won the voting campaign. Yeah. And then they had Varan and Orga. And I was like...
Yeah, I saw that. I was kind of like...
and I was like, well, obviously it's going to be...
dicking me around with Orga.
I said, obviously it's going to be Super Mechagodzilla. But anyway, so Super Mechagodzilla got announced. They announced another currency that can be used to upgrade 4-star pieces, which that's...
more stuff I'm not going to get.
Well, this seems... it's... we don't need to like get into this. I think as far as like mobile games go, like I think Battle Line is still certainly by far one of the more generous ones compared to like plenty of other mobile games I played. But they really like they got it like they keep. It seems like every 6 months they try to find a way to kind of paint themselves out of the corner they found themselves in with their upgrade system, and this seems to be adding yet another route to try to make it a little bit easier. So.
Well, not every not every new unit has to be 4 stars. Like the last non-4-star unit, was it like Kumo? One of the EVA units? Like
no, I think all the EVA. Well, no, 4th Angel is 3 stars.
Yeah.
And 10th Angel's 3 stars. But yes, it was one of those like collab units that was like mixed in with like another collab season.
So you have all these 4-star units and you never get upgrade mats for them. Or maps for them, Matt. Yeah. Hi, Matt. Upgrade Matt. But like it's so like when you first got the game and there were 40 units and 10 of them were 4 stars. It wasn't that big of a deal. But now that there's over 70 and the vast majority of them are 4 stars, and you get so few upgrade materials to use for them, like, sorry, but it just doesn't work. You have to change your ways.
Yeah. I mean, so I mean, I guess this is a step towards trying to. We'll just have to see how readily available this new currency is going to be. Yeah. It's kind of hard to say. Because we're recording on Saturday, and that stuff doesn't drop till Monday. So
I have my doubts.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think as a game, though, I think you and I are kind of view the game a little bit differently these days. But I think from myself, from a gameplay standpoint, I think the game has been really good. I feel like for the last like 4 or 5 months, I feel like a lot of like the buffs they've done to like older units have been really good. I mean, the same problem is like new units come and they kind of become useless after their first month. Yeah. But
at least they listen to you and we're like, give us like a boost to some of these units. So
yes, I hope that continues. But the buffs they've been giving to older units, I think has really.
I just hate the nerfing of units that I rely on to like be competitive, because then I have to like, all right, so you took away the only way I could win, and I lose the vast majority of my matches. If you go up against Bill Brasky and you're in level 66, that's an easy win for you. All right, like Like, I am the New England Patriots of level 66. I'm 2-6. That's about my average.
I'm still hanging good in the 66 ranks.
So it's just one of those things where, or no, I'm Frank Rizzo now. I just realized I changed my name, keeping with 90s comedy icons.
So it was funny when you mentioned like that they have, whatever it is, like almost like 70 characters now in the game.
It's over 70. I think it's 74.
Yeah, whatever. It's in that range, right? The other big mobile game that I played for years, Fire Emblem Heroes, has now crossed over 1,000 characters.
Yeah.
And I think when I stopped playing the game regularly, I think they were up to like 700 characters, and I had about like 350 or something like that. It was
and not for nothing, but like the vast majority of players I go against, it's all the same decks. It's Garth, Burning Godzilla, Mothra Leo. It's all the same. Like everyone's the same. Everyone does the explodey guys, Mothra Leo and Garth now. That's your or Caesar too.
Yeah, I think
it's so lame. You're all like upgrade some different units.
Yeah, I think I mean with Mothra getting the buff, it's like a high level Mothra. Like I don't run Girth in my deck. I run like Mothra and Anguirus like can take down a Girth like no problem. You need like one kind of tanky character like that, or supplement it with like Mothra, and like that will take Girth down really quick. I'm surprised like they boosted Girth as much as they did, but I think that one is one that's probably going to get revisited probably in a couple months. But
they should. It's too much.
Yeah, that was like one they didn't need. That was one misstep I didn't really understand. But your boy Chibi is getting quite the buff this season, so
I think I put him past 20.
Well,
like it's a unit that I never use, but I'm just kind of like, if I like right now I have like 100,000 gold, and I'm just sitting on this, so I'll randomly upgrade units. Like I put all my non 4-star units to pass plus 10. It cost me like 40,000 gold to do it.
Yeah.
But like Chibi, I was like, Chibi's like stealthily like one of my highest leveled units right now.
Well, he's about to get an attack buff. I think his
flame gets bigger as you upgrade him too.
And that is the ray attack is going to how there's like the meter that fills and it gets longer. Like that is getting a speed increase, so it's gonna fill up faster.
Nice.
So there you go. Chibi could be a little 2-cost tank for you. So
they need to make him stronger though. That's the only thing.
Yeah. He's
getting one hit.
He's getting a buff to that too.
Yeah.
So buffed all around. They're putting him on the gas. But that was kind of really it. Super Mechagodzilla's coming. One kind of surprise, -1. I was kind of like half surprised that -1 didn't get dropped this month. I figured -1 is probably gonna be the December unit.
Yeah.
Is kind of what I gathered. And I think, nope, sorry. One more kind of I think really noteworthy thing was that there was during Godzilla Fest itself, there was a Monarch Legacy of Monsters special, or like a little segment on that, and they played some like additional footage and stuff like that. We kind of got some. Did you see any of this at all?
I saw like a 3-minute video of it.
Okay.
Kurt Russell was talking about how like iconic Godzilla is and how he always wanted to do something with Godzilla, and like this was like the perfect thing for him. And like talked about his son playing the same role.
Yeah,
he always wanted to play like a father and son with his son, but
now they're playing the same character. I think I saw that video too. There's like one part where it's like
they merged faces.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, wow,
that is perfect. Yeah.
I was like, that was pretty sick.
Yeah.
So on the Godzilla Fest stuff that they showed, we did get to see like clearer shots of some of the new like Titan. Yeah. So like, did you see like the mole type thing with like that looked pretty sweet.
It almost has like a Biolante type, like rose type of face to it.
Like, yeah, like opening up. Yeah. So that looked cool. You can find so now post Godzilla Fest, or they all came out on Friday, but the first minute and a half of the first episode was released, and it's John Goodman on Skull Island. And he's like running through the woods. He's being chased by one of the giant spiders that was there. And then this like other monster comes out of the rocks, and they start fighting. And he throws this satchel into the ocean with like all these like monarch secrets, and it, comes ashore, and then they released like the title sequence. That looks pretty cool. I like the theme for it was pretty cool too.
Yep.
And then there was one other clip of some of the other main characters. They're like in a tunnel, and there's like some eggs, and of course like a little earthquake starts, and the eggs start to hatch, and then these kind of like little like bug like creatures come out chasing after them, and
Baby Mudos.
maybe it was baby noodles or they looked more like Meganulons, like from like Rodan and / Megaguirus.
Well, the eggs looked exactly like the Mudo eggs.
Yeah,
from
but what came out
2014.
did not. It looked like that was like, I was like, so I don't love all the bug stuff. I hope that was just
What you need is a giant cat kaiju to take care of that problem for you.
yeah, exactly. Yes, I like it's like I said we were talking about Pacific Rim and to what the MonsterVerse has been to this point. Like, it seems like historically in like American movies when we have giant monsters, they seem to really go with like this like really buggy multi-armed leg thing, and I don't really like that. I like the little bit more like sleeker designs of something like Pacific Rim or like the Mudos and stuff like that. And I hope it gets more like that. I mean, I'll go with the mole thing, whatever the mole thing was, or whatever that's going to be called. I thought that was cool to me.
His name is Fred Savage.
Heyo. So, any thoughts on that? I don't know if you saw all those clips or not.
I didn't see all of them, but I did see the mole guy, and that was cool. Yeah, not really.
Okay. Well, I recommend checking out the jet. Well, it doesn't matter. I guess like in 2 weeks we're going to see it all like in episode form anyway.
Yeah.
So
I did see the intro, like the first minute or two. So
the John Goodman one? Yeah. It's like he's like recording the video, and he's like, "Oh, I guess if you see this, guess it means I'm dead." Oh, and I was like, "Oh, Danny Connor, good to have you back." Anything that I missed before we get into the shorts?
You would know better than me.
I was just wondering if there's anything you saw that I missed that you wanted to cover.
Sorry.
So yeah, now we move on to the shorts. Suit first or Gemstone first?
Oh, up to you. Boy's choice.
Let's do the suit.
Okay.
Let's do the suit one.
It's fresher.
Yes.
They literally, before you got here, they uploaded the standalone videos so you could watch it in good quality.
Yeah. So
good job. Good job to her.
A lot of chatter in my
Now do the Gigan one.
Yeah, I know. So for some reason, Toho loves to like put these like suit shorts up for like a minute and then pull them down. And
makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, there was a lot of like chatter in either like on Twitter or like in our group chats, stuff like that, where people going like, "Oh man, like what's like the quality of like this short?" Because like, they like when they were showing it during the YouTube stream, they didn't like patch in the
it wasn't a direct feed.
Yeah, they didn't patch it. They just like literally had the cameras that they were used to filming the event just pointed at a screen filming it. So
it's like a bootleg VHS from the 90s.
I have a Godzilla 2000 bootleg when it that was filmed that way when it came out in Japan.
There's a Seinfeld episode about that.
Was there? I don't remember that.
Not Godzilla movies, but
no, yeah.
Jerry gets roped into bootlegging movies, and he's really good at it.
God, it's like I try to remember like how people like could even do that in the 90s with how big camcorders were like for most of the 90s, but yeah, anyway. So, this is the fourth one of these specials. It's really like they call it the fourth, but really I don't think the very first one I don't think really counts in this, or definitely doesn't count in this continuity. So now this is our third one with that Final Wars stunt suit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people debating if they should be retiring that suit or not.
No.
I agree.
It looks fine.
No, it looks rough. It looks fucking rough.
It looks fine.
But I want to see how rough they can get it to look.
No, it's fine.
I love how worn down it is. Like, you can see like the actors like
they just cover it in water and it's fine.
Cover it in water.
It looks so wet.
There's like one part in this short where it's like you can literally see the suit actor's head like poking through the neck. And I was like, oh man, I was like, this thing has had a beating, but it's not even the original suit. It's a stunt suit from Final Wars. And I was like,
it's fine.
I wanted to be like I want them to keep using it like till it gets like the Godzilla 68 suit by the time it's in Godzilla versus Gigan, and there's like literally pieces falling off like during the fight scenes. I want it to go that far. And then yes, you can make a new suit after that.
No,
But I want a few more years of this thing taking a beating.
Tape it up.
Get back in there. The Jet Jaguar suit though looked excellent.
Yeah, they I'm gonna be a real dumb guy and make a dumb guy joke. Yeah, they maintained that suit really well from the 70s.
Hi-yo.
Yeah.
Waka waka.
Yeah. It's a new suit. Looks good though.
So your initial thoughts in the short.
Oh, I got my enjoyment out of it in different ways, I think. When Jet Jaguar first shows up to fight Godzilla, you ever see The Office?
Yes.
Okay. You know the episode
The
where...
good years, anyway.
Yeah, you know the episode where Michael and Dwight discover parkour?
Yes.
So the first, 30 seconds of this, I was going, parkour! Parkour! Like Jet Jaguar does, a few flips, and then, he bounces off a building, and he looks like Michael and Dwight bouncing off the office furniture.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Godzilla just showing up being a dick.
Yeah, that intro basically said that, after Gigan and Hedorah, he basically just got bored because there was nothing else to fight. So
Yeah.
he just showed up.
Um,
Just being a dick.
You'll get this. Godzilla, what were you doing in Japan? Working on my son. Why'd you blow up the building? It's blocking my tan.
Oh, yeah.
My tan, blocking
That's
my son. I got the words mixed up, but
It's an old school reference.
it's a good movie.
It was. I do love that, he throws, he's just, throwing, crescent kicks and, very agile, this Godzilla. Just loves throwing those, side kicks and punches. I love the fight with Jet Jaguar. I love the Jet Jaguar randomly just jumped up and did, a giant-ass jump kick to his head. That was all really good.
He had really good form.
He did have good form, yeah.
With that kick. Knocks Godzilla down. Godzilla kind of gets back up and kind of does the Oberyn Martell head squish, lifts him up off the ground. That was really cool. It doesn't really make much sense that Godzilla was about to kill Jet Jaguar, and then spoilers, GMK King Ghidorah shows up and saves Jet Jaguar, and Jet Jaguar immediately was like, we need to kill King Ghidorah.
So I was so convinced that I was like, okay, next year is the anniversary of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. I was like, this is going to be Mechagodzilla in disguise. And right when that part was coming, I was like, here it comes. The real Godzilla now is going to blast him off camera. And it's going to reveal the space titanium. And then all of a sudden, the golden beam comes down. And I was like, what the fuck? And then, yes, speaking of old suits, that GMK, King Ghidorah, was in a commercial not too long ago. And here it is again.
So... this is, in my opinion, this is the worst King Ghidorah suit.
Yeah, I don't like the suit either.
The mouths are locked open, they don't move.
Yeah.
And you can't fix that.
Yeah.
You can't adjust that to make them move a little.
Yeah, I have never really liked the GMK King Ghidorah design.
Yeah.
That's another suit that has a lot of miles on it. Not only assuming it is I'm going to guess it's the original one from 20 some odd years ago, but when they did all the pachinko games and stuff like that, they filmed scenes for that, they always used the suit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool that as soon as he landed, they recreated the shot from Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster where he's they're showing him through the gateway while he's firing his beams at the village and stuff like that. That was cool to see that recreated. And then we got Jet Jaguar pulling Godzilla up.
Code of honor.
Yeah. They do a little Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers, thank you. Doing the Predator, Dylan, you son of a bitch, hand thing.
Government got you pushing too many pencils.
Then he, just
make it easy to get a self-touch. Okay.
Then he gives him a little thumbs up, and so now we're gonna episode 5 is gonna be them versus King Ghidorah.
Is it? Or could it? Or could
Jet Jaguar returns.
could King Ghidorah be bringing in a partner?
Well, I mean, they got a brand new Gigan suit floating around. So, but I like that. Like now we have a little teaser for next year. That's nice.
Yeah.
That's just a sign that they are just committed to doing these shorts every year.
Good. They should not stop. This is the best thing that they do.
Yeah, I love it. I think it makes Godzilla Day feel like much more of an event. Now, granted, a whole new movie got released on this Godzilla Day, but generally speaking, it makes it feel like even more of like an event. Where you get these shorts, and now it's like you can kind of feel confident that you can look forward to these every year.
Yeah. Probably doesn't take too much effort to get them done. They look great. They're fun. You can go back to them at pretty much any time as long as they keep it up.
There's always ways to find them.
Yeah.
How would you well, let's do the rankings, I guess, after we do the Gemstone.
Okay.
So Gemstone Jr. making his as I'm just gonna refer to him all the time now, Gemstone Jr. just making his return this year, going against Megalon. Your thoughts on this short?
Awesome.
Yes. Agreed. I liked that they made this a little bit longer this year, gave it like a little bit more of like...
Yeah, last year's was like 6 minutes. This one was, what, 10?
10, yeah. You got a nice little like intro with like the Seatopian, priestess like summoning Megalon, and like, you see like the military confronts her at one point. I thought it was like nice, and like you have all these people like evacuating, kind of reacting to what's going on. And that was good. There was a little bit more... I like that little more of a setup. Yeah, it felt like a short. This feels like a short film.
Yeah.
Which is still only 10 minutes, but it felt a little bit more well-rounded.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still cool just to get Godzilla fighting Gigan Rex and stuff like that, but it was nice to have like that little bit of a setup. Gave it a little bit more. Made it feel like a fuller experience. But highlights from the fight, or actually, in your thoughts on Megalon's new design.
I thought it was pretty solid. They maintained Megalon's base like assets, but they made it more agile looking, more of a flyboy now, than just sort of being ground oriented. Almost like a Mothra aesthetic to him. So it's like if you almost combine Megalon from the 70s and Mothra, like
with like that
legendary,
jaw, his like new jaw,
in
particular.
And like that's just the way he looks when he's flying. It's almost like a Mothra aesthetic from the legendary series. Solid, looks scary, intimidating. Godzilla rips his horn off.
Yep.
So that was pretty funny. Yeah, I really like the design of the new Megalon.
Godzilla got some new powers.
Got some new powers. He got a star from Punch Out.
Yeah. Got himself some like, or like, it was almost reminding me of like the powered up punches that Mechagodzilla had in GvK, where he's like, doing like little radioactive burst punches.
Yeah.
But there were two things that were a highlight for me in this, and I think you could probably maybe guess both, or maybe at least one of them.
The priestess killing all the army dudes.
No. I meant in the fight itself.
Oh, in the fight. The double whammy Megalon saw thing when he combined his arms into one big saw.
No, that was pretty sick too.
Okay. Trying to think back to the fight itself.
The most ridiculous thing that happened in the fight, which was full of ridiculous things in an awesome way.
I'm trying to think. Tell me.
The fucking dropkick.
There was a drop kick.
It only wasn't a drop kick. He launches himself by firing his nuclear pulse out of his back to do the drop kick. And I was like, they recreated the fucking drop kick from Godzilla vs. Megalon. When that happened, I like popped out of my fucking chair.
I forgot about that for some reason. Now I'm immediately remembering it.
Oh, that was just incredible. And then I didn't catch this clean on the first time I watched it, but when I watched it through a second time, when he's getting impaled by Megalon, and he like uses his whiteout ray, like he's like you much more like when I watched it the second time, I much more clearly saw him just slice Megalon in half with it.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, so good.
Yeah, so
fucking good.
Yeah, just goes right through him, and then that's sort of like at the end of it too. So Megalon has been halved. Wrong kid died. and then and then Godzilla's just like, I'm pooped.
I was like, I wonder if I hang through the credits, if there's gonna be a little post credit scene, and I was glad that we just got a quick shot of Godzilla opening his eyes
Yeah.
back up, and I was like, all right, yeah, this was fucking awesome. This is Gemstone Jr. is becoming like quickly climbing up the ranks of like one of my favorite things in Godzilla right now as a whole. Give me a few more of these.
Oh, absolutely. This should be the
Every year.
same thing with the suit every year. Just a 5-10 minute long
Yep.
fun little thing.
Yep. So I mean, yeah, I wonder if they'll kind of stick with like going like, okay, who's having the anniversary this year? And I don't think they really announced. Like last year, I think they announced like, okay, this is like the Jet Jaguar anniversary year, but I don't think they really announced that like, okay, this coming year is like, the Mechagodzilla anniversary. But next year is also Godzilla's 70th birthday, so maybe they're not going to. I mean, they focus on Mechagodzilla so much; he doesn't need a whole year. I mean, I like Mechagodzilla a lot.
They did announce the Megalon was this year's Gemstone thing a few months ago.
Yeah. But like they kind of had like a whole year of like kind of like Megalon merchandising.
Yeah.
And they announced that at the end of Godzilla Fest last year. So, but yeah, maybe they're not going to have a Mechagodzilla year because it's the 70th anniversary of the first Godzilla movie going into this year. So, but like I said, that's all right. I like Mechagodzilla, but he doesn't need a whole year. Mechagodzilla there's no shortage of love for Mechagodzilla from Toho or Legendary at this point. So I think we can take a little breather from Mechagodzilla for a year. Let somebody else have the spotlight next year.
Give it to King Ghidorah.
Could be King Caesar's year, because I mean it's also yeah. I could take a year where Ghidorah and Mechagodzilla like take the back seat a little bit.
That was a joke.
Yeah,
'Cause you're always like, come on, someone else.
I know. Does King Ghidorah always have to be the final threat? Like he loses all the time.
He really does.
Almost all the time.
Yeah,
most of the time.
He gets some cheap wins in King of the Monsters.
He does. I still maintain that should have been a clean win when he fights Godzilla in the ocean.
He's a heel.
Yeah, I think he would. It should have shown how much of a threat he was by getting a clean win over Godzilla. Instead, we got the like oxygen destroyer interference. So I would have preferred a clean win over Godzilla at that part.
I liked how it was done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly disappointed with it. It's just if I was booking that territory, that's why I would have done it. Granted, he does beat the shit out of Rodan like 5 minutes before that, so he is kind of running a gauntlet there. But shall we rank the shorts?
Yeah, why not? I tend to defer to you first for a lot of these.
Sure.
So for the suit one, I'm gonna go 4. The only downfall for the suit one for me was that they used the crappy King Ghidorah GMK suit. I like Jet Jaguar though, and I like that they used the GMK soundtrack for King Ghidorah. That doesn't get enough love in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing, I've said this before, but the same thing for the GvK soundtrack. I feel like that doesn't get enough love for being like all original music. But that's sort of like the one low point for me was just like if they used more of like a newer Showa Ghidorah, I think that would have been a lot better. Like if they made a new suit.
Yeah.
That's my only complaint. The Gemstone one, I'm giving that a 5. That one was sick.
Yeah. No, actually, getting back to the suit one really quick though. One of the Mechagodzilla suits of the 70s is like still kind of around.
Yeah.
And it'd be really funny if they just...
Isn't it not usable? It's like more like orangey and brown now.
No, it's no, because they fixed it up. They take it out. They put it on display in certain places.
Okay,
but it would be funny if they just said, "Fuck it, let's just." Because all you would really have to do with that suit is just get him into the pose where he's like firing all of his missiles and just have it stand somewhere. I would laugh for a whole fucking day if they trotted that suit out in one of these shorts. But I'm not gonna go 4 or 5 in the suit one. I think I'm going to go 4 only because, it ended on like a cliffhanger. And so I didn't feel like it was like it's not a finish. It's like Cody Rhodes. It hasn't finished the story yet. So, and I think,
yeah.
And I think when next year happens and presumably finishes the story.
You're hoping Godzilla can yeet him and finish the story?
Yeah. And that'll, then I will go, okay, this duology is probably going to be 5 stars. But I was going to ask you too, like, of the other, like the final, we'll call it the Final War era suits, Suitmation shorts. Where does this one rank with the other ones?
I'll probably put it third. I liked the Gigan one the best. The Heater one second best, and this one, like, Heater one wasn't very long. This one was a lot longer and much better done. Actually, I'm going to flip that. I'm going to put this one second.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same rankings as you. I think the Gigan one was the best one. And then, yeah, they all have been really good, but I think this one just had a little more, much more action to it. But yeah.
I did like how at the end Jet Jaguar put his differences aside, but it also kind of made no sense. But I guess it does make sense in the way that, like, the shot you were talking about where Geeter is like destroying stuff by himself.
Yeah.
And Jet Jaguar sees it. I guess it does make sense that he has to stop him. But, like, I don't know. to so quickly put aside, like, your differences with the monster that was, like, it was going to kill you.
Yeah. Well, he's a robot. He doesn't have, like, real emotions, he's just, he's learning.
But if you cannot linguistically differentiate a human from a computer, could the computer be internally conscious?
Deep questions we're asking here around this short.
Well, you said the learning, so I quoted.
I was thinking of like Terminator 2, where he's a neural net processor, a learning computer, a learning Jet Jaguar.
It's a Nevermore song, The Learning.
Yes. I mean, that ending, like, yeah, when you think it through, going like, Jet Jaguar had like a little change of heart really, really quickly, but it was just to recreate that handshake and for Jet Jaguar to give him the old thumbs up. He
was Agent Dale Cooper.
Listen, sometimes you just gotta do the fan service sometimes, and there's a time and a place, and that was a good time for it. Yeah, Gemstone short, instant 5 stars. Yeah,
no question. And I don't know if I like this one better than last year's, to be honest with you, because the Gigan one was just so insane.
Yeah, this is the dropkick though.
This one was very good. I'm just saying, like, when the third movement of the Moonlight Sonata kicks in and Gigan Rex shows up. I'm sorry, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, God, they're both just so good. I mean, like, Gigan almost gets an edge a little bit because of just like, you're like, wow, like they are really continuing like Junior's story from the 90s. Like, that's just fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But this one, between the dropkick and Godzilla slicing Megalon in half,
it's very good. It's not close, but for me, I think the Gigan Rex one just edges it out.
I think I'm gonna, I got to make sure I'm not doing some recency bias here. And, I just saw it yesterday, and it's like, I'm just gonna just put them on as a tie right now. We'll see how
time limit draw.
Yeah, we'll see. When I get a few days away from it, it was actually funny. It was like the other night. I was like rewatching like the Gigan Rex short, and I was like, oh man, this is all so good. I was like, I want like just like enough of these to like put them in a playlist that lasts about like 40 minutes. Like, well, I want more than that, but I mean, like, it's gonna be awesome when it's like I can watch like when there's enough of these that have been done to a point where it's like I can just watch like all these like kind of back to back like in a little playlist or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be so fucking good. But I love this Godzilla design too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That like whiteout ray that he has is just fucking awesome whenever it happens. I also like too, like after like he slices Megalon, like just a giant explosion happens like not anywhere in the path of like where he was shooting his ray, but still he's like, hey, we're gonna have just a giant fucking explosion just for the visual. So good.
Anything for the shot.
That's right. Again, just like we were saying the Jet Jaguar short. Sometimes the fan service is the way to go. So there you go. That was Godzilla Fest.
Now that we got that out of the way.
Yep.
You get any purchases?
Sure did. I thought I was going to have more to talk about, but
oh, you got screwed, didn't you?
Well, so supposedly the Singular Point Funkos were supposed to ship out November 1st, and then Amazon said, sorry, pal. Little delay ski here for you. But it seems like they're delayed all over, although I think some have creeped out into Hot Topic, but whatever. They'll come soon. When they come, they come. And then I have talked a little bit about the Mechagodzilla King Caesar Mezco set that was supposed to ship over the summer. I emailed them for repeated updates. I finally got one that said, yep, it's going to ship the end of October. Got an email about 10 days ago that said, hey, we're going to start shipping those out. And it has been in processing status for, about a week now. And I've had this happen with other Mezco purchases. And usually I send an email or an inquiry going like, hey, this has been processing for 7 days. Like, do you have an estimated ship date? And then magically it switches to shipping that day. So I suspect I'm probably going to have to do that again come Monday. So thought those things were going to be here. They are not. But I did get the Godzilla vs. Kong, the Hollow Earth playset.
Yep. I saw that.
Got that. I was at a wedding the other weekend where everybody got COVID except for me. And anyway, but I had like a little time to kill, and I had to run out and true story. This is like stuff that nobody gives a shit about, but I've committed to this. So packed everything I needed for this wedding except a shirt. So I said, well, guess I got to go to Target to buy a shirt.
You should have just worn the blazer and no shirt.
that probably would have flown at this wedding. That probably would have been okay. So anyway, so I was like, well, I'm at a Target that I'm not familiar with. I was a few hours away from home, and I found the play set sitting there. And I said, you know what? Here it is. I'm going to get it. I always said I was not going to like proactively go out and like really look for this set, but if I saw it, I was going to get it. Sat on my floor for like the past like week and a half, and I finally assembled it yesterday, and they're not kidding. It is indeed almost 20 inches tall.
Yeah, tall boy.
It is a tall boy. And it's visually impressive. It is I'm looking at like did you take there's the city.
It's on the second show.
So much more intricate than the city playset.
Yeah.
So you get like a little you get two separate kind of scenes. You kind of get this like outdoor multi-level basically
Marketing.
3-level it's an MLM scheme, like waterfall, like jungle scene, and then you kind of get like Kong's throne room.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people on the internet like swap out the Playmates figures with like SH Monster Arts figures or Haya figures or whatever, like, and I see people always put like Kong sitting on that throne, and I go like, this is still like sturdy cardboard, but I can't imagine it's gonna hold up too long with like an SH Monster Arts like figure sitting on it.
Sure. Yeah.
But anyway, it looks cool. I yet again have another Kong and Godzilla repaint of the same old molds.
Yeah, it looks like the blue one for like the very early GvK Godzilla release. It looks like that like light blue one.
So it's
grayish light blue one.
It's kind of like, so how like the city one is kind of gray with like orange highlights. That's like how this is. If like you replace the orange highlights with blue highlights, that's basically what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in the pictures it looks a lot more blue than it actually looks like, for a paint job it's really nice. I gotta say, like, both these play sets, the paint jobs on the Godzilla and Kong figures are well done. And Kong is like kind of the same thing. He's kind of got like blue highlights, like kind of done in a few places across his body.
Yeah.
So if you did not have a Godzilla or Kong figure, I would say they are probably some of the best looking of the Playmates, right?
Yeah.
However,
However,
I do have, well, I guess they're still really nice looking, but I think this is now I'm only missing one Kong figure. So there's the original with the open mouth. I'm missing the one with the closed mouth that was the original run. But then I got the cocaine covered one.
the weird, the not Kong.
No, I have that.
Oh, okay.
I have that. No, that's from the Skull Island run. Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
Which I am pretty sure is repurposed from another line that Playmates did.
Yeah.
But no, so just with the GvK stuff, like, so originally there's an open mouth Kong and a closed mouth Kong. That's what all the future molds are based off of. So I don't have the very first closed mouth Kong.
Okay.
But that's the same one they used for cocaine covered Kong. So I got that. I got the original Kong, Tokyo lights, or sorry, Hong Kong lights. There's the one with the propeller on the chain.
Yep.
And now I have 2 more from the playsets. That is 6 of the 7 available cogs that are basically the same mold, which also means I basically have that many Godzillas too. So, keep finding a way to get me to buy the same fucking mold over and over and over again.
I need to think of how many Playmates Godzillas I have right now, because I have the 2014 poster, the Hong Kong lights, the playset one, the 2 that the dark one, the lighter one that came with the antenna, and then I have the noise one where he's looking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then that's not even counting like the non GvK stuff. There's like all the older ones that I have too, like the Burning Godzilla, Bikini Boy, Final Wars, Shin Godzilla, 2 Shin Godzillas, Space Godzilla. I have like a ton of these, and I just don't care.
The only
not to mention the 2 big ones.
The only Playmates figure I'm missing is the Warbat from GvK. And now the prices have gone down on that, so maybe I will just plug that hole in the old collection. But yeah, I mean, so the GvK Godzilla molds, like they've also done, I think, like 6 or 7 of those. I have all those. Yeah, you talked about like the roaring one where he's like looking upwards. I have all of those. Do you have the one where it's very similar, but he's with no sound, where his head's just kind of like tilted a little bit? No, I think you just have the roaring version. There's also one where...
No, I think I do. You think he's in my other shelf over there, the overflow shelf.
Yeah, I do love the poster one, though. The poster one's pretty sweet. The G14 poster one.
He's got a nice little smile on his face.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little figure. And then, I have every... Yeah, I'm thinking this through now. I have every Playmates figure except for the Warbat. Because I got Titan Tech Rodan the other week.
Yeah.
That's a line I hope they just keep doing. That was a line at first. I was like, this is so dumb.
They should do a Titan Tech Godzilla.
He just turns into a disguised...
I was going to say, like, he detects.
They should... God, like now that like that like dam has broke open where like Playmates is just like, yeah, we're gonna do like ridiculous shit with like these figures. I can only imagine what like we're gonna get with like Godzilla and Kong GXK, or apparently as they called it during GFest, they just called it Godzilla Kong the New Empire.
Godzilla Kong.
Nothing in between. No X, no and, just Godzilla Kong the New Empire. Yeah. Anyway. Those are my purchases.
Yeah, I didn't get anything. Sorry.
Well, it's all right. You know.
Someday soon.
Someday. Yeah.
You can get back on those penance purchases for me. Yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, I would say Godzilla Fest was another success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As long as they keep doing those shorts, then it'll always be a success.
Or, you release a whole brand new movie on that day. Now, granted, that was in Japan only, but
yeah, and we haven't seen it yet, so we can't really talk about it.
Yeah, but soon though,
you can rest assured that a spoilery episode is coming soon.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. We're gonna see it on the 29th, and I'm gonna guess we will be recording within 48 hours of seeing it.
Yeah.
So, if not sooner, so I cannot wait. I was glad we were able to get the early IMAX tickets.
Yeah,
so
I'm looking forward to it. But next episode, we should be
episode 1 of Monarch.
Yeah, we should be talking about the Apple TV show. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I do like how the 2 main Godzilla designs right now are similar enough, but like different enough.
Yes.
To where like you can clearly see like the differentiated designs. But like I said, they are similar enough to where like they're both distinctively Godzilla and like neither of them are wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I really like that. I'm hoping this Apple TV show really like brings in some new monsters, and like the mole one put them into the forefront for a little bit. But yeah, we'll discuss that more in a few weeks.
I'm fully expecting to only see Godzilla in the first episode and the last episode. I'm expecting everything else to be new stuff in between.
Yeah, but that's okay. As Godzilla vs. Kong proved, like you can have a movie where Godzilla's in it a lot. It's not like he's not in the movie, but Kong is so much more emotive and like can communicate that like it's better to make him the main character, because that way he can convey more emotion to the audience and keep them more emotionally invested. So people were complaining about like Kong had more screen time than Godzilla in this new movie. They did like screen tests and stuff. But I'm just kind of like, it should be that way. Like, number one, they don't have to pay Toho as much to use Godzilla. But number two, like, he's the more emotive monster. So
I don't think his screen time matters how much they pay him. I think it's just a multi-year.
Oh, I thought it was they had to pay him for like every second he was on screen.
No, I don't think it's that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. No, I think it's just X amount of years.
Whoever said that lied to me.
I mean, I think I've heard people talk about it like in terms of the TV show, like how costly it is to animate Godzilla.
Oh, okay.
Per like from a CGI standpoint.
Gotcha. Maybe that was it. It was a while ago, so I was screwing it up.
But no, I mean, I think I think I've always kind of said I think it's good that they expand the MonsterVerse, because you never know. Like, I mean, it would make no sense to me, but like Toho could suddenly turn around tomorrow and say, "Yeah, you know what? Like, we're pulling the Godzilla out of this. No new contract. Godzilla's out of the MonsterVerse," which would make no sense. But I mean, I don't know. Toho does like crazy things sometimes, and so like, either way, I think it's good that you are creating more avenues for the MonsterVerse to go.
Yeah.
More. I would like to see like a real standalone MonsterVerse, like original character. Right now, it's totally anchored by Godzilla and Kong, but like it would be great if they had like a TV show kaiju that could kind of anchor some like TV shows around. Make your own original style Godzilla or something like that. I think that'd be pretty neat, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, more to come on that. Anything you want to leave the listeners with as we depart this episode?
Nah, dog. Nah.
Happy birthday, Godzilla.
Yeah.
You can cry if you want to.